and do any. Oh fucking! And I'm like low key finding myself. Just clean the countertop because that's important. More important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I stopped myself. And I thought you're avoiding the discomfort associated with sitting down for 9 hours until 6 a.m. in the morning and doing the book. And it wasn't until I realized why. When I started that term has been like this flashlight that I shine in like the corner of the room where I'm hiding the thing that I don't want to do now. So I wondered if it was, for some, in regards to your running, if it's in some respects similar, like you're avoiding some kind of discomfort where you think, I'd rather play the guitar.
I'm convinced of it because running is such an unpleasant experience for me. It's a really good example. I can't stand it. But you're absolutely right that I totally agree with you that, we do sort of go about our lives trying to seek moving out of that space of of being uncomfortable. This is why we don't have conflict conversations in the workplace. This is why we don't challenge our own thinking. This is why we don't like change. And we like to operate from a comfort zone. That's what we do. I agree with you. I think because running is such an unpleasant experience for me, so that's absolutely awful. I'm probably avoiding it because I just don't want the experience. Whereas riding a bike isn't so bad for me. And so maybe therefore that instead of sat there at 4 or 5 o'clock thinking, God, I need to go running in an hour, and I really don't want to, I'll go tomorrow. Maybe what I should be saying is I need to go running now. No, you don't. Why don't you ride a bike?
Get a Peloton.
Why don't you? Yeah, why don't you do
one upstairs? It changed my life.
Okay. Well, I'll have a go on it after this. Yeah. But we should have done a whole interview on that. I could have killed 2 birds with one stone.
I hate running as well. It's like I hate the impact on my knees.
Yeah,
I don't want to be outside to be honest. I don't want to be swerving past people. So I got the Peloton. It's low resistance. It's fun. Yeah. Super engaging and gamified because you see the data. You see everyone in the world and where they're placing. You see Jenny, 55 in North Carolina, is beating you.
Yeah, make me feel bad. What are you on about? I don't want to feel bad. Yeah, exactly. I hate Jenny forever. Yeah, exactly. That just makes me realize how unfit I am and how much I hate other people who are fitter than me. But interestingly, it proves how fit you are because you said you don't like running because of your knees and swerving past people. I don't like running because I can't breathe. So you're already winning.
Chicken and egg, right? Chicken and egg. That'll be cured if you start running. But on that point of psychological discomfort, how does somebody, in your opinion, face a challenge that they know is uncomfortable? Like, to be honest, I don't want to go to the gym or do all these Zoom calls all the time. It's not like, I'm not getting comfort or in pleasure out of doing 2 hours Zoom calls at the moment about biotech or whatever it is, the thing that I'm involved in, but I'm doing it. And I wanted to know, in your case, what does it take someone who doesn't want to do something because they know it's uncomfortable to say, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it today.
Yeah.
Does that go back to that point of having that long anchor purpose?
Yeah, I think it does. Was it Muhammad Ali said, I hated every moment in the gym, but I did it so I could live the rest of my life like a champion. Yeah, and in a way it's true, isn't it? That there are component parts to success. And I think a really interesting one is, and the one that most people probably relate to, is failure. So people don't like to experience failure. But, for example, failure is part payment towards success. So the price of success is always paid in full and in advance. So the price of success is always paid in full and in advance. You can't be successful and you start making mistakes. You can't be successful and start having your 2-hour Zoom calls. In a way, you need to fail. We need to have these awful conversations. We need to kiss lots of frogs. We need to, do deals which don't work. So we need to do all these things to enable you to be super successful. So there's lots of things that, again, it comes back to reframing. If we see it as part and parcel, a stepping stone towards a greater advancement, we're probably more likely to do it. If we see failure as something which is we're trying to avoid and it's just awful and it screams to me that I'm useless, then we're probably going to stay within a comfort zone. If we embrace failure, then we see it as part payment towards success, and then we see it as something which is an active contribution, a stepping stone towards being better, maybe we're more likely to indulge in it and not have the discomfort that we associate with it. So I feel that it is always good to think about, think about that end goal, have that purpose, that vision, the mission, what you're seeking to achieve and create. And then think about what those building blocks look like, because all great achievements are the result of many small achievements. You had Joe Wicks here yesterday. Yeah. He wasn't super successful overnight. He probably kissed a lot of frogs. I'm sure he talked about it. His business and career and personal life went in all sorts of different directions, like ours. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily, as we said earlier, it's not necessarily what happens. It's our interpretation of what's happening, which will then enable us to use that as feedback towards something better.
And do you find with a lot of the high performance people you've worked with that their childhood is a definitive reason as to why they are the way they are today? I'm going to try and articulate this if I can, but from speaking to guests on this podcast and also from a bit of introspection, to be honest, I tend to think a lot of people that have extraordinary outcomes have often had some kind of extraordinary early experience. And I'll give you a couple of examples. A lot of the billionaires that I know, or really, really successful people that I know, cite their father's disapproval as the reason why they've always had a chip on their shoulder. And they've always strived obsessively to be enough, right? Because their father told them they weren't enough.
Yeah.
Have you seen that in successful people, that there's the thing that makes them just a bit fucking weird is often I think of one particular instance with a friend of mine, a comment their mother made when they were 4 that they just can't shake.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't delve into backgrounds in the way that maybe someone involved in psychiatry would. So as a performance coach, I tend to work with how people are now, basically, and tell me about what you're thinking and doing, what you're trying to achieve. And more so than to try and deconstruct, or analyze some of the, the earlier experiences. So that's not my thing. Having said that, though, you're absolutely right. There seems to be some sort of correlation between extreme experiences and then how people interpret or translate them.